While the sun's hanging low, a new day is dawning, but Mom is still out cold. Then, from deep in the dirt, you can hear a tiny sound. Soft cracks, little taps. Basically, the sound of brand new life. But hold on, there's another beat in the distance. Footsteps. All dry and on a mission. They're not following their eyes. They're following the smell of a fresh, easy meal. With the babies still snuggled up to their mom, the whole crew rolls in. This is a super gutsy move, the kind most predators wouldn't even dream of. And a move like this, it's definitely gonna cost somebody. As quiet as a ghost, the pack creeps closer. Everybody's on edge, stepping lightly, because the last thing they want is to wake up the sleeping giant. The first dog inches forward. He's the test dummy, the one they send in to see if the coast is clear. He's checking things out so the rest of the gang knows if it's safe or if they're about to get wrecked. The dog sneaks in, snags 2 little hatchlings, and then just vanishes like a shadow. Meanwhile, the big reptile's eyes are still shut tight, but another dog starts to move in. You can tell he's having second thoughts, moving super slow. He stops, listens, and then scoots a few inches closer. When he gets his chance, he gently scoops up an egg. His jaws are barely open, his teeth are covered by his tongue, and he's using almost zero pressure. Guts, it turns out, are catching. The looky-loos in the back decide to get in on the action. The third dog, a real opportunist, gets lucky and snags an egg right out of the sand. But the fourth thief? He didn't get the memo that the beast was waking up, and now it's time to pay up. The crocodile just explodes, her jaws snapping shut in a nasty attack on the one who got too close. 159. She drags the dog straight for the water while the rest of his pack just howls from the shore, stuck somewhere between terrified and furious. The crocodile has the dog locked in her jaws, and now the river just swallows them both whole. Once you're under that water, your only hope is up. Down below, the mother shakes her captive like a rag doll in a total frenzy, her eyes locked on the thieves. She doesn't have to say a word. She's a walking, talking billboard for you. Mess around, you find out. Getting the message loud and clear, the dogs take off, a little smarter and a lot more tired, carrying their risky prizes in their mouths. The river got one of them, and they got some of hers. Everybody paid a price. Out here, there's no such thing as a clean getaway, and no win ever feels complete. One by one, the little hatchlings wiggle free, looking all pale and shaky, with the world having already left its mark on them. Their first day on Earth was not exactly a walk in the park. But hey, life rarely starts out easy. And now, it's time for their first lesson. The mother gathers them up super gently with the same teeth that just crushed bone. Inside her jaws, there's a little flap of skin that seals her throat, keeping water and, accidental swallowing away from the babies. Every single tooth is as sharp as a sword, but they never even scratch the babies. The science behind this gentle touch is spot on, fine-tuned over millions of years. With her whole brood safely in her mouth, the mother heads for the water. She's doing her mom duty, but she's feeling the weight of what the day cost her. In the wild, taking care of your own and losing them are two sides of the same coin. Hatchlings pour out of her mouth and zip around on the surface like little sparks. The water is their new home, all cool and weird. The current starts to pull them along. They're just tiny, soft little copies of a family line that has survived just about everything. Time and a whole lot of trouble will make them tough. What's just a fragile little snack this morning will one day be the king of this entire river. Down in the murky water, something's moving. A little ripple, and then nothing. The crocodile is gliding through the water like a purpose-driven shadow. A ghost made out of the river itself. You can't see it, but it's everywhere. This river is hopping with life, a place where fish are practically jumping into your mouth. But today, there's more than just fish on the menu. Something way bigger has just stepped into its quiet territory. With no idea that the water itself is out to get it, the river turns into a horror show, where your gut feelings are all you've got, and even being thirsty has to take a back seat to staying alive. Because around here, every drink could be your last, and the river gets to decide who gets a sip and who just vanishes. It's a good reminder that even being alive is just on loan from danger. In this world of waiting and perfect timing, one move is all it takes. And when it finally makes that move, the peace is shattered. The river just blows up, and the legend living under the surface finally gets what it's been waiting for. The crocodile doesn't even chase. It lets the water bring the meal closer, letting every second make its attack even deadlier. When the crocodile is close, the river stops being a nice, friendly place. The surface might be sparkling, but every animal here knows what's hiding just underneath. Even the wind seems to be tiptoeing through the reeds. Nothing moves without thinking twice. The real danger here is in the stillness, not in the noise. The crocodile is perfectly camouflaged with the mud and shadows. You can't even tell what it is until it's way too late. A single flick of its tail, and your heartbeat is over. And in that one heartbeat, some thirsty animal will get yanked down into the deep, where the river muffles all the sounds. And the world up top just forgets it was ever there. Over at the riverbank, a mother leans down for a drink. The whole scene feels weirdly calm, almost safe. But underneath, something ancient is waiting, barely making a ripple, with its eyes glued to the herd. A wildebeest gets spooked, but the creature just sinks back down, quiet and calculated. The predator didn't give up. It's just repositioning for a better shot. The herd puts their heads down. All they want is a cool drink from the river. Then, in the time it takes to breathe in and out, the crocodile attacks. The river just explodes into action. The wildebeests jump back, totally freaked out. Hooves are splashing everywhere. The crocodile's jaws snap shut on. Nothing. A total miss. Panic rips through the herd like a wildfire. Some of them bolt for the open plains, while others, completely confused, charge right into the river, just running wild and churning up the water trying to get away. When you're just trying to survive, logic is the first thing to go out the window. And in all that chaos, hunters see their chance. The predator makes another move. One by one, the animals flinch as it passes by. Then, out of nowhere, the calm is broken. Again and again, the crocodile misses. Its jaws clamp down on nothing but water and bubbles. The herd bunches back up, hearts racing, but they're still feeling that pull to get across. The river is what stands between what they're afraid of and what they need. But a new feeling starts to spread through the group, like they've all suddenly gotten brave. One steps into the water, then another. Their hooves hit the water like they're daring it to do something. But before they can even blink, the water goes crazy again, and the crocodile shoots up from below. In a split second, a wildebeest calf is caught. Its cry is completely drowned out by the chaotic river. The herd goes nuts. Hooves are kicking. Water is flying everywhere. But the predator is already gone, sinking back down to the bottom with its catch. The wildebeests keep going, all bunched up together in a big wave of bodies. But one little voice is gone. The calf is gone, taken by the river. And still, the herd doesn't even look back. When you're trying to survive, there's just no time to grieve. They cross the river as a single unit, leaving the one that fell behind. It's like a silent payment to the river, which always demands its price. In this place, every trip has a cost, and every life that's lost makes sure another one can keep going. But there's another hunter still waiting down there, totally hidden, and not giving up. Another crocodile is going to eat well from this herd today. The river's got plenty of predators, and they all play by the same rule. If it gets too close, you take it. Down in the murky water, patience has a lot of teeth, and being quiet doesn't mean you're safe. The crocodile is a survivor literally carved out of time itself. For over 80 million years, its family has been the boss of these waters, never changing, never beaten, and never backing down. It's outlasted whole empires of other animals, watching creatures we've never even heard of come and go. When the entire world changed, it just stayed the same. Crocodiles live in two different worlds. They're part water creature, part land security guard. Their whole life story starts right here in the sand. The females build nests high up on the riverbanks, laying dozens of eggs inside big piles of mud and grass. For months, they guard those eggs like their lives depend on it, never going too far away. They're territorial and like to be alone, guarding the edges of rivers and swamps like old-school kings. They're also not picky eaters. They're carnivores and scavengers. A meal's a meal, whether it's running away or just lying there. While the eggs are hatching, the quiet riverbank suddenly gets noisy. You can hear faint chirps coming from under the sand. Tiny voices are calling out to a mother who's been waiting to hear that exact sound. Her touch, which is usually all about raw power, now becomes all about protection. Her strength becomes pure devotion. For an animal that's built for power and patience, being a mom becomes its most powerful instinct. It's a moment where her survival isn't about her anymore, but about the little lives she's promised to protect. In that moment, the terrifying hunter turns into a guardian of new life. The hatchlings' lives are small and super fragile, but to their mother, they are absolutely everything, and she guards them with a kind of fury that nothing else in the wild would be stupid enough to challenge.